Hey, what's up, guys? It's your man Nate here, and it's that time again. Week 8 game of the week. I can't believe we are already in Week 8. Games have already been started playing last night. Guys are already knocking out their games. Here, we'll show you the schedule real quick for Week 8. I can tell you that the original game that we were going to pick already got played. So Cleveland and Indianapolis have already played. Congrats to the Cleveland Browns for picking up their first win this season. A really good win over a very good Colts team in Colin. This was going to be our game of the week, though, Dallas and Seattle. Dallas comes away with a 22-21 victory, and since that game has already been played, we're going to have to pick another one. So we're going to go through the whole schedule real quick just to show you the games that are being played this week. A lot of very pivotal matchups as we begin to start to think about the playoffs and see who are the strong teams and who are the teams that are going to struggle. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick the Titans and the Jaguars. That is going to be our Week 8 Game of the Week, Part 2, since Part 1 already got picked. This is going to be a really good matchup between two teams who are trying to win their division in the AFC South. The Jaguars have dominated the AFC South here for all of last season and the early part of this season, but they've struggled here recently. They've lost last week to fall to 4-3, whereas the Titans have really turned things around in Nashville and really are a much better team this year. They're sitting at 4-2. So these two teams are going to battle it out, especially with the Texans struggling this year, the Colts having an up and down season. It's really going to come down to these two teams unless things dramatically change here in the second half of the season. So we'll take a look at some rankings and some stats. We'll take a look at some team stats first. Come over here to the Jaguars. Blake Bortles having a pretty down season, under 60% completion percentage. Not very Brady-like. He doesn't seem to be having that really balanced attack that he's normally used to being known to have. 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's not going to cut it. I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing Parrish Hill get some playing time here soon if Blake doesn't play better. This team has always been known for their rushing attack, and yet again this year they've just added another rookie to the mix, and now 4 guys are getting carries. Flynn with 35, Ivory's got 61, Yeldon 27, Robinson's got 16. All these guys are over 4 yards a carry. 3 touchdowns for the rookie Flynn, 3 for Ivory, 2 for Robinson. This is going to be a spread ball carrying team that they just give the ball to every back that's on the team, and he's a very good downhill rusher. He's going to attack you and cause you to really focus on the rushing attack. Allen Robinson is his leading receiver at 32 receptions, 552 yards and 4 touchdowns. Allen Hurns has got a touchdown on the season, but really it's all about Robinson. That's something that's been interesting about him this year, is you would think that he would have more guys mixed into this, but if you really can concentrate on Robinson, you're going to give his team a really hard time. And I think it's showing in Blake Bortles having 6 interceptions already. Gibson already leading his team like he always does. This team is really built upon 2 very good safeties in Gibson and Cypern. Gibson has 59 tackles, Cypern has 47. Cypern has 3 tackles for loss. Jack has 5. The sack leader is going to be Jackson, Malik Jackson, defensive tackle. Brady is always known for having powerful defensive tackles, and even with the Jags, it's going to be no difference. He's got 5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks on the day. Fowler Jr. has 3 sacks and 5 tackles for loss. Interception leaders are going to be Gibson and Cypher, 3 and 2. House also has 2. Again, this team has very good safety play. They like to bring those guys up in the box, and they make plays in not only the run defense, but also in the pass game. You come over and look at Titans. This team has really turned things around this year. They're a young team, and they seem to have found the right mixture. Marcus Mariota is playing very good. 67% completion percentage, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1,500 yards already from Marcus. He's having a very good season. Could be a potential Pro Bowl, even MVP candidate if this team keeps winning. Darius Jackson coming over from the Buffalo Bills. This guy can play. He's got 5 touchdowns on the year, 4 .0 average, 415 yards. Murray's got 109 yards and 4 yards per carry. And then Levy's got 77 yards and 3.1. Of course, they sent their other back over to the Buffalo Bills in that Jackson deal. Receiving Tyler Graham, I should say, 431 yards, 5 touchdowns. Walker's got 429 yards and 3 touchdowns. Walker's actually on the trading block. He's an older player, but still somebody that can make a lot of plays if you're interested. You can see that he's making plays for the Tennessee Titans. Speaking of guys who are on the trading block, Arakpo and Woodyard are also on the trading block, and these guys are still making plays for these Tennessee Titans. Wesley's got 43 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, a sack, and an interception. This team really knows how to get in the backfield. As you see, Arakpo has 13. So the guys that he has on the trading block are making plays for him. It's just an interesting concept that he's got. He's looking to get a little younger and get rid of these guys and get something for them while he still can. I can't seem to talk today. I apologize. Kevin Nod, the left end out of Clemson, somebody who I was trying to trade for last season, has 4 sacks on the year. Casey has 3, Arakpo 2, and then a bunch of guys 1.5 and 1. Not a team that gets a lot of interceptions. They get after the quarterback. They make you working on defense. This defense is probably a little down than you would normally like to see, but I think he's building it up, and they will play better. But they do not get a whole lot of turnovers. Take a look at some team stats really fast. It's going to be total offense. You see the Jaguars here with 2,040 total yards, 1,253 passing yards, 787 rushing yards. Always going to be one of those teams that is in the upper portion of the league for rushing yards. 23.0 points per game, 5 passing touchdowns, 8 rushing touchdowns, and 85 first downs, to be kind of middle of the pack. Tennessee Titans are actually play a lot better than what these stats are showing. I think he hit a little bit of a speed bump, but he's got that thing figured out here lately. He's got 1,534 passing yards, 425 rushing yards. Look for that to improve now that Jackson is part of their crew. 22.7 points per game, 13 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 86 first downs, to be a little bit below halfway. The defense, which is what the Jaguars are usually known for, the Titans are actually the better defensive team so far. 1,858 passing yards allowed, 385 rushing yards. They've allowed 144 points, 15 sacks though, which is pretty nice. 3 forced fumbles and 5 interceptions. Not a team that gets a lot of interceptions. This is what is uncanny about this Jaguars team and making me scratch my head about Brady. We never really hear from him a whole lot just because he's very, very busy. He just does a whole lot of stuff in his personal life and his Madden life. But this team normally plays extremely good defense. They're usually one of the top 10 defensive teams in the league. And this year he is the 29th. 1,973 passing yards, 636 rushing yards, 162 points allowed, which is way more than what he's used to. Only 10 sacks, only 2 forced fumbles, 10 interceptions is a nicer stat to have. But this defense is really, really struggling. So the Titans and the Jaguars are going to go at it in a very big AFC South matchup. It's really going to go a long way to deciding who's going to win that division, because these two teams seem to be the powerhouses again, unless something dramatically turns around. I've got to take the Tennessee Titans. That Marcus Mariota is playing extremely good football. He's protecting the football. He's hitting his players for big plays. He's finding the soft zones and defenses, and he's exploiting them for big, big plays. Look for Jackson to get the rushing game going over there. I know he's got to do some work on the offensive line, but Jackson can make plays, especially on sweeps and counters, things like that. The Jacksonville Jaguars have simply just struggled on defense, which is not like them. They're not getting after the quarterback like they normally do. They're having to make plays in their backfield, and that's not really like them. Look for Marcus Mariota to exploit that. Look for this rushing attack to get going for the Tennessee Titans. They're going to have to hold up because the Jacksonville Jaguars play extremely good offensive rushing numbers, and they're going to really exploit any weakness that you have in the middle of the field. Look for this to be a little bit higher scoring. I'm going to go with a 28-30 victory for the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans and Marcus Mariota are going to lead their team to victory, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to fall to 4-4. They're going to have to get some things figured out as they get ready to make their run to the playoffs here in the second half of the season. So there you have it, your Week 8 game of the week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll knock out a Press Pass Live a little later this morning to get that out. Still looking for me a little co-host, so if you'd be interested to hop on with me, we'd love to have you come on and give me some commentary about how you feel like things went in weeks 6, 7, and 8. And we will talk about that on Press Pass Live. Check out our website, grownfolksoc.com. Give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Peace.